Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 182 of Hobby Quick Hits. I am John Newman. Today's topic, adjusting comps, right? Important, right? For consumers and for me as a dealer. I'm also a consumer. I go to shows that I don't set up at. And, if you're a pricer, as I am, some people don't price their cards. We did that show already. Check it out in the archives if you missed it. But as someone who prices their card, it's important to adjust, right? It's not like you just price your inventory and then any new inventory and you're done, right? You gotta, things change. Stuff goes up, stuff goes down. Usually down, more probably at a higher percentage than up. But it goes both ways. It's a two-way street. And recently I got into a predicament where I got a little lax on adjustments, and I think it affected me. So we're going to talk about the ins and outs of adjusting comps for both the consumer and the dealer, which I wear both of those hats. So that's what today's episode's about.
Okay, now a quick word from our great sponsor, followed by the new product release schedule. Then we'll go around the Hobbyverse to tell you all the latest hobby happenings and news. Then we'll tackle today's topic of discussion.
Hi, this is Pat Hughes, Cubs announcer, coming to you from the Sports Card Shop in beautiful New Buffalo, Michigan. The Gocher family has built an incredible place here for collectors to buy, sell, and trade cards and memorabilia. Be sure to stop by and let them show you around. TheSportsCardShop.com, connecting sports, athletes, the hobby, and collectors around the world.
Hi. This is Alan Pinkett, and I'm here to tell you the Gocher family has done it again. They've just opened up the Sport Card Shop in downtown Valparaiso, Indiana, and it is awesome. If you're a collector, you need to check this place out. Tell them Alan sent you and get a free gift on your first visit.
Let's check out this week's Hobby Wax releases. Take it away, Max.
Hey guys, it's Max from the Sports Card Shop in Valparaiso in New Buffalo, Michigan. So I'm giving you guys these weekly releases for these upcoming weeks here. Starting off on the 3rd, we have 2024 Panini Stars and Stripes Baseball, 2023-24 Topps Chrome NBL Basketball, 2024 Topps Tier 1 Baseball. And on the 5th here, we have 2023-24 Panini Select Premier League Soccer. And on the 8th, the 10th, we have 2023 Panini Contenders Football, 2023-24 Panini Prism Copa America Soccer, 2023-24 Panini Donruss Optic Basketball Fast Break, 2024 Panini Prism WWE, and 2024 Panini Donruss Baseball, and 2024 Panini Stars and Stripes Baseball H2, both of those on the 12th. Thank you guys for tuning into the podcast, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Let's go round the Hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
And find out.
With the first pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Zachary Rizache from Lyon, France, and France's J.L. Boron-Bress.
All right, I didn't play that soundbite to make you aware that. If you're an NBA fan, you probably know who the number one pick is, but that player, Rizache, is appearing in a French product along with Wemby, a Slam Deck, which has actually been a product that's been around since 2018. It's a French brand, and now it's getting more with the French invasion, as they're calling it in the NBA. The Slam Deck product is getting more attention. They come in 42 card packs. They look like our hanger packs. They have made their way state land, so you can get them here at certain stores or eBay. Again, 42 card pack. There's a Wemby in every pack of this year's edition, and it's like a trading card game. So it has a Wizards, a Magic the Gathering with like a points. It's meant to be played as a game, but it's becoming a collectible item. So Slam Deck from France. Again, not a new company, been around since 2018, but becoming more mainstream lingo for us here in the States. Some PSA news their new holder, which was the 1LR Plus, has some cracks showing. Flow lines, they're calling them. They're going back to their old holders, which are the 1LR, not the Plus. But they believe they've pinpointed the problem. They're going to fix it. But for now, they'll be back in any card slab will be in the old holder prior to the 1LR Plus. If you have been affected by the flow cracks, the flow lines, hold off on it for now. They will replace, once they fix this problem in the new holder, they will replace any slabs affected by those flow line cracks. But right now they're telling you to remain patient, let them fix it, then they'll replace them, and any cards coming out now will be the original holder. So look, it's not a good look, but it happens, right? It's, comes with the territory. So my Brooklyn Dodgers are going to have a new display or more items on display at the Cooperstown Hall of Fame soon. The family of Walter O'Malley has donated 70 boxes of his personal items to the hall. The hall is right now going through it, photo IDing it, and getting it ready for display. So there'll be a lot of items, 70 boxes, but one of the items is the 1943 scouting report of one Jackie Robinson, which eventually led to the signing of said Jackie Robinson and breaking the color barrier. Back to grading news. CGC and JSA, which have partnered, will launch their new autograph authentication encapsulation. Try saying that 10 times fast. That will start at the National itself. So if you have JSA gives a thumbs up on your auto, it will be encapsulated into a CGC holder. Quick update on the memory lane theft. Both individuals arrested had their day in court, at least for their initial plea. They both have pled not guilty. Good luck to those two alleged criminals with that one. But hey, we're entitled to our rights. They have pled not guilty. These stories don't seem to stop, unfortunately. Got to report another robbery, pretty brazen. Pick Six Sports Cards in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Yeah, no one is immune, folks. 3:30 in the morning. A truck smashes through the front door of Pick Six Sports Cards. Two gentlemen get out and make off with quite a bit of a haul. Truck still in working order. They back out and take off. There is some damage to the truck. The police were able to run the plate. Guess what? Stolen plate. So it did not help them in IDing the suspect. So they're on the run. Very vague details as the police are trying to keep it close to their vest. So stay tuned for any further updates there. Besides taking over the NBA, France has the Summer Olympics next month here, a couple days, in July here. Topps has announced a Chrome Topps Olympics product set to release July 26, featuring not only current participants in this year's Olympics, but old standby favorites, including Michael Phelps, who will have autograph items in the product as well. As we talked about on a recent Hobby Quick Hits episode, the National is keeping trade nights in-house on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Each night will be sponsored by different individuals. Check the National's website for details. There'll be giveaways and different events surrounding each night of trade night, and that will be post-show. So the show's done, and then trade night kicks in. So I didn't eat lunch, so I'm going to be headed to get some food in my belly. So, but if you're attending, enjoy, and check the website for all the details that you'll need. You'll need a Nationals ticket to attend the sanctioned trade nights.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, let's talk about comps. I know to some, might not seem like a big deal, and maybe it isn't, but if you're buying or selling, and I do both, it's important, right? Getting kind of a market value what is this card? What is this set going for? What is this item going for the most part, right? We don't like to overpay. We like to get good deals on both sides, again, on both sides of the aisle. And again, I'm a dealer, and I'm also someone who goes to the shows and buys cards or buys cards online. And comps are not just a show thing. You know, I know we're all been to the show or seen the scenes where everyone's got their phone out, comping everything, taking a picture of it using one of those apps that kind of gives you, fair market value in air quotes there. And again, I'm not poo-pooing it, but, it's I'm from the old days where we used to just have a Beckett price guide, but we're not there anymore. So we go online, we grab our phones, and we get, what we believe is the value of an item that we're interested in buying or selling, right? And that's, what economists will tell you, right? What's something worth, what someone's willing to pay. Has something ever sold for over what someone would perceive comps? Sure, heck, I've probably bought stuff over comps, especially if it's a PC item. I think everyone's done that at least once, right? But we try to get the best deal. When money gets tighter in this inflation sort of world, right? We want our most bang for a buck. A 2-liter used to be 99 cents. It's now $2.50. So if we can save somewhere else so we can still enjoy our Coca-Cola, that's just smart, right? And that's just common sense, human nature. And so, when it comes on the dealer side, as someone who prices their cards, and we did a show about pricing and unpricing, for dealers who don't price their stuff, it's easier to comp in a sense. But is it? Because you have to really kind of take out your phone each time and, check what the market value is, or you just know and you wing it. I guess you could do that. I think it's easier to not price your cards, but I've always been a pricer as a dealer. As a consumer, I tend to walk on by if someone doesn't price their stuff. I just had Chris Sewell on Sports Card Nation, and he's a dealer as well who prices his stuff, and he even said that when he's at a show, he doesn't ask if another dealer don't price his stuff. He looks and then keeps going. So there's an art, and a science to it. So I've always been a pricer. Every once in a while, I'll leave a card or two unpriced if it's sort of a card that's volatile that changes each month. But I tend to price everything that I put out for sale. But recently, I kind of got lax. I got no excuses. I kind of didn't get it done, but, got busy and didn't adjust all my cards' prices. Maybe some of them. I don't want to throw myself completely under the bus, but there were some cards that I needed to lower. I even, to be honest with you, I can't remember the specific card, but there was a card I had priced at $250 that comps were $80. And that's on me for not being on top of it. No wonder it didn't sell, right? And I had a couple not so great shows. I was on a nice run, and then I had my monthly shows in Watertown, New York, and I had two kind of not bad. I do the SGC bulk table, so that always is a nice added incentive. But talking about just my inventory, I had a couple not so great show days on that side of the house. And, it just made me like, what's going on? And then I realized, it was my table mate or, my setup mate, Chad Merritt, who probably will be on a show here soon with me on Sports Card Nation. But he's like, man, I think you got to adjust your pricing. I think, some stuff has came down and you haven't adjusted it. And, so that night I got home, I started looking at some stuff and realized he hit the nail on the head. So it, took me a few hours, but went through my inventory and reprice is probably 80-90% of it. There's, I have a lot of stuff on my table, so it's almost impossible to get to everything. I got discount boxes and dollar boxes, and so that stuff's harder to get to It's not impossible, but I definitely repriced all the graded inventory, all the showcase stuff, the stuff going out into the showcases. And so I haven't done the next show just yet, so I have nothing to report on, but I'm hoping that will solve some of that issue. But I also don't think it's just the comps, right? I think the hobby's in a different space. I think, the economy's in a different place as well. It's not doomsday. The sky's not falling. I'm not that guy. You should know me by now. But, I think people, and it's smart, right? People, I think, are being smarter with their money. And when your comps aren't adjusted as mine weren't, then you run the risk of maybe losing sale or, you always hope, right, as a dealer, you always hope that someone maybe knows you well enough or is comfortable with you to say, John, I'm interested in that card, but, with all due respect, your price is not competitive or it's over comps. Maybe you missed it. And then if someone does that, obviously we can work together to maybe consummate a deal. But if someone's not willing to do that, you potentially will lose sale. 2 shows ago, we have a food truck that comes to our monthly show, and I went out there to grab some brisket, excellent brisket, Warrior Wagon, and part of their proceeds go to injured and homeless vets. But I went out there to get some lunch, and the 2 gentlemen were in front of me, and they were like, man, you see the same stuff at all these tables. People are way over comps. It's getting kind of monotonous, and I wish dealers would, know what their stuff's going for. And it was kind of a derogatory conversation at first, but you know what? When you kind of take the attitude off it or the way it was, and it wasn't a conversation I was in, I just overheard it being behind them in line, but it made me realize, like, if that's the case and a lot of people feel that way, it can affect not only sales, but maybe hey, I'm not going to this show. This is the reputation that most of the dealers have at the show. And so, I had to open up my boxes, get my price gun out, and really go to work. And I don't know, I don't know how everyone else does it. I can only speak to myself, but I was overdue. Why it didn't happen, I don't know. I guess I got lax. I do other things. I do content creation. Maybe, I need to balance that out better. But that's on me. And then, I just wonder how much of that is the case across the board. I set up at more shows than I go to as a consumer, so I can speak more solidly from that side of the table than the other one. But even on eBay, right? If you're an eBay seller, right, you have different options. You can do a buy it now with make an offer, and hopefully someone, if you're a little high, someone will make an offer that's more reasonable, and you take it and make a sale, and they get a card or an item they want. So that's kind of baked in. But if you're really overpriced without a buy it now, that item's going to sit on eBay and collect eBay dust. And so comps are not just a show thing; they're any kind of marketplace listing thing. And sometimes we forget to readjust, right? Stuff comes down, something comes out, right? New product. Ultra modern stuff, something comes out, it's going to be at the highest level when it initially comes out. Then the bloom comes off the rose a little bit, right? And those prices adjust. I don't even want to say come down in that case, right? Prices adjust, settle into what's going to be their new normal level, right? The hype's kind of died off. And so sometimes, while I have some vintage, I do have some modern too, and ultra modern, and I do open stuff sometimes. Sometimes we forget to go back, and when that initial rush is over, adjust those comps to more reasonable prices where that product is settled in. And that was a little bit of the case in this case as well. So, as a dealer, it's probably easier said than done to stay on top of it. I know some dealers have a system where they just pick one day a week and they kind of go through stuff, through their boxes and kind of have a feel for that, right? Maybe something I could take a page from that book. I don't know if I can adjust comps weekly, but at least, every few weeks, once a month, to be competitive, to have a good show, which I'm used to having, to be honest. And sometimes we learn lessons, right? I've been doing this a long time. Like I always say, folks, I'm still learning, right? In this case, I learned sort of the hard way. One thing I appreciate even when listening to content, right, is everyone likes to share their W's, right, their wins, everything Midas touch, right? Some content creators or dealers or whoever you follow, it's almost like they never lose. They can't do no wrong. Well, I'm not that guy. I think I win more than I lose, to be honest. But I share those L moments, right? Because we can both learn from it. Maybe there's a dealer out there. Maybe there's someone thinking about getting into selling, right? And they can take something away from this kind of episode with, adjusting comps. And I was going to name the show Lowering Comps, but, adjusting, because it goes both ways, even though it's generally, lowering prices, probably 60, 70% compared to raising prices. So we've seen the grading market kind of settle down. I know people call it the junk slab era. Maybe there's a little truth to that. I think that's a dramatic term, but with grading coming down, SGC is getting the most cards they've ever had. So there's more graded cards entering the live market. And with that, prices do just naturally come down, right? It's supply and demand, economics 101. The more there is of an item, the cheaper it should be, at least on paper. And so, here's some advice. If you're at a show as a consumer and you're looking at a dealer table and you're interested in something, whether it's my table or anyone else's, anywhere in the world, any show, and there's a card you want, but the dealer's a little, pricey stuff, and you feel like he or she hasn't adjusted it recently. Maybe doesn't even, that might be like in my case. They may not even realize maybe they're not trying to be a jerk, which I wasn't, but maybe they just, haven't adjusted comp. Don't be shy to say, hey, I'm interested in this card, but your price is not anywhere near where this current value is. I mentioned that $250 card that in actuality was $80. Had someone said something, I would sell it. I would have sold it for the comparable comp. I just didn't even, it was in my case and I just, didn't realize it, right? Had someone said something, I realized it when I started repricing my stuff. But if someone at the show had just called me on it, I wouldn't have got mad. I would have probably been my pride might have been a little hurt that, hey, I got caught not adjusting my comps, but I would have worked with whoever asked about that and maybe made a potential sale. So, communication is key, right? Just because someone's over, just like the two gentlemen in line for lunch in front of me, maybe, again, they kind of made a broad statement, but sometimes give the dealer the benefit of the doubt. Maybe something happened. Maybe someone got sick. Maybe they had a life event, and they couldn't, adjust comps. Give them the benefit of the doubt and ask. Say, hey, I'm interested in this. You're severely over comps. I don't know if you know that or you don't. Things happen. Are you willing to work with me and be reasonable on it, right? They're going to either say yes like I would, or they'll say no, that's the price, or what's the comp? Oh, I can't do that, right? But you don't know without asking. And I get some people are shy, but rather than just make a blanket statement or assume, right? Always it doesn't hurt to ask, right? If they don't want to work with you or don't want to adjust their comp, you move on to the next table. So it's going to be something I'm going to try to stay a little bit more on top of than I have recently. And, it'll be interesting. We got the National coming up here in 20-something days, to see how stuff's comped out. I know last year I went for a Tom Seaver rookie. Stuff was over comps. They did not get one. It is still on my list as of right now. And I'm going back in there trying to get it. That's a card that actually has come down significantly. So will this be the year? Well, I'll follow up and let you know. So with that being said, as always, I appreciate your time, and we'll see you soon. All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Want to give out our social media, starting with our website, which is www.sportscardnationpodcast.com. Facebook, you can follow us at www.facebook.com/sportscardnationpodcast/. Twitter, we are at sportscardnati1, so it's sportscard NATI1. Instagram at sportscardnationpodcast, or you can email the show hobbyquickhits@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.